Привет, Kaktala! Меня зовут Andres Salazar. We are here at the Art of Comics. A little Russian for you this morning. Ohayou gozaimasu in Japanese. Today we're going to talk comic books. The title of the video suggests, it doesn't suggest it, actually, it just tells you what we're doing. Which is kind of a bummer. I really wish I could just say X, X2, X3, and just But the algorithm, the robots of Google, Alphabet, YouTube would not like that. So I got to put titles. I was thinking of screwing around and changing titles, completely different things for different things. Maybe I'll do that on April Fool's Day. But until then, we'll do this. Comic books. Excuse me. Ashley Wood, Chris Ryall, Image Comics, Robots vs. Zombies. Or is it Zombies vs. Robots? Excuse me. Zombies vs. Robots. Classics. Kind of the original little short stories they did. You buy this book, honestly. So, there's art teams. There's teams. When I say art teams, I mean creator teams. Writer and artist, right? Sometimes the same person, sometimes they're different. You buy an Alan Moore book because of what I just said. It's an Alan Moore book. The artist, yeah, but I mean, artist is cool, but you want to read Alan Moore's words, right? Brian Michael Bendis. Well, that one sometimes it could go either way, right? Brian Michael Bendis, you want to get a Bendis book, but also, he's attached to a really cool artist. Okay? This is a book. Sorry, Chris. You're great. We've communicated a couple times on emails. But this is a book you get for the art. You just do. Because the art is so special and overpowers it. You get it for the art. Now, the concept, wonderful. The dialogue's fine. The plot's fine. All that stuff is fine. But you're not getting zombies versus robots because you're wanting to be emotionally invested in these characters. It takes you on a journey. That's not really what. You're there to see the cool-ass drawings. And Ashley Wood is one of my favorite artists around today, contemporary artists, we'll say. He's just badass, and I like it. Okay, I always talk about Bill Sienkiewicz. I talk about, Kyle Baker, Alex Toth, right? Mobius, right? Keith Giffen, rest in peace. Chris Ware. These are guys I always talk about. We're putting him on that next tier. Not top 5, but we're the next tier. Ashley Wood really inspires me. I like his painting. I like he straddles that kind of fine art world, similarly to a Kent Williams, or John Muth, those type guys. And I just love it. And let's go ahead and freaking show off this comic. Let's do it. Come on, guys.
Are you ready?
Okay, everybody, let's take a look at this book that I'm very excited to share with you. This is really freaking fun. It is, how much is this, Mama? This is $20. I think you can get it a little cheaper some places, but let's just take a look at it. One of the reasons why, again, I really like that. First off, I love these covers. I love the painted stuff. I have some more Ashley Wood stuff I bought at Comic-Con last year. I don't know if I'm going to Comic-Con this year, actually. I'm transitioning into more fine art stuff. I just don't know if I'm going to go. So it's a big expense. I wind up buying a lot of crap, and I don't know. But I bought this last time at Comic-Con. I love his work. Like I mentioned before, he does kind of have this nice illustrative / fine art kind of painting style that I like, this expressionist work, and as we see in the inks and stuff, I like him. I feel like Jim Mahfood is a bit of a similar vein, although I think this guy is a little bit more elevated. Not just, you're not supposed to rank people, but I just did. I love Jim Mahfood stuff though, just to be honest, to be truthful. One of the great things about this work, first off, love that he's using parallel pens. which you can buy over here. They have these Pilot parallel pens. You can buy them. Here, I'll show you one. This is what he's using. And this one actually broke on me, so it kind of sucks. But these little mamas they're parallel pens by Pilot, Japanese company. And it allows you to get these kind of lines. So it's like a calligraphy pen, basically. And you can tell this is what he's using. So if you want to do some stuff like this, get a parallel pen. Just don't break it. One of the reasons why I love his work is it's expressive, very energetic, very loose, gestural, and he breaks all the rules. And that's why it's good. He breaks the rules. He knows the rules and he breaks them. Let's just take this for an example. The panel borders, the art is going out of the panel borders. You see this? Where the art is going off the panel, outside of the panel. You see that the screen tone is offset from the image, right? You see how things are not quite lined up sometimes, a little off, a little over, a little sloppily. This kind of stuff, you could never do this back in like the 30s or the 40s doing comics. But now we see he knows the rules. He's done it clean before. He knows how to do it. But now by breaking the rules, it changes it and makes it so good. And this is so expressive. It, almost to the point of abstract. I mean, it's not like de Kooning, but it's getting this really kind of a super loose stuff that I dig. Notice here, normally you would even have, you would erase the border here, right? So you just have the foot coming out. That would be like normal, well, quote unquote, exciting comic book art, right? We're like, oh, it pops out of the panel. But by leaving the line in there, it actually makes it better. It makes it more gonzo-y, indie production-y, right? So this almost does look like the rough draft or production version of a comic instead of like the final clean, right? So it's just, I am really drawn to it. I love his use of color, which is very minimal, but it's very specific. His use of texture, right? Again, we're going through these principles of design. Texture, color, pattern. The leader screens he's using are just these really fun, geometric, hard lines, very masculine lines. Sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't. It's kind of doesn't even make sense sometimes, but it works perfectly. And I actually did a short story that I'm working on that's got, you can see that the inspiration comes from this. Although I'm not nearly as loose as this. I think the looseness does come with confidence. I think that the more you know the rules, the more comfortable you are with the rules, the more you know how to break them and make them work, right? But even this kind of stuff, if you just look at the two screens used here, right? This screen, which is this big piece here, and then this like a light olive screen that's here. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? There's not like a wall that's shaped like that. This is not a thing. But these fun geometric, abstract shapes in the comic work. Now this does work because this might be like a silhouette of a person, right? But this doesn't. This doesn't mean anything. But it's fun, it's abstract, and it kind of keeps the piece together. So I think Ashley Wood is one of the best guys doing that. Also the line work, again, I use the word expressive, but it's very, this gestural, loose. I mean, you could think that maybe he doesn't even sketch, that he just goes straight to ink. I don't know. He might do a blue line, he might pencil, I have no idea. But the way he inks it is really fun, and I dig it. As for the story, it's it's what the title is: Zombies versus Robots. And there's not a lot of characters you got to worry about. It's very plot heavy. It's about this portal to another world. Scientists go in there. It's a world of zombies. They somehow bring back the plague with them to Earth or to their time dimension, and how that affects the world, and then they got to deal with it. But that's honestly, I was excited to read it to kind of figure out what the story was, but really that is like totally sidebar to me what is visually interesting and what is what working for me. Again, let's just talk about this: keeping these settings on your Photoshop where you can do what's called a screen. So basically you just overlay a layer of brown or umber or what have you, sienna, on top of your inks. And so now your inks have this kind of a warm, ochre type color to it. And knowing when to do that, right? And here, this is really dark. You could tell that when he inked this, it was like a lot of blacks here. But now, putting the screen on top of it changes it. And this is great. All this kind of like really fun, energetic artwork. To me, it's just great. It's top of the line, brother. Top of the line. So I'm a freaking fan. Great silhouettes. He's not worried about anatomy. He is looking for interest, dynamic things. This is like even a little bit different. This kind of like page. These pages here are even different. So, and this is a collection of a couple of short, like 4 parts, I think. And you can tell the art changes. He's using now different color set than over here, right? So different colors. He's putting the dialogue in with the art, which I love. And again, this is kind of like, you can see the Mafud. Remember I was talking about Mafud a bit, kind of Mafud does some things similar to this. I think they're in the same world as far as like a style. That's good. And then now this story, this one, Ghosts in the Machines, now we're getting into, you can see, much more digitally colored. Now we have more of a fully kind of, not rendered, but just colored, a little more depth into it, warmer, of course it's very warm. And then we're going to contrast with the cool and indoors. Still very scratchy, energetic, gestural kind of elements. Then you have this like pattern, abstract. So he is making each page very different, and that's kind of exciting and I feel engaging. So he's not doing different styles, but the color palette, the way the color palette changes, and his use of screens make it kind of interesting. And then there's some elements here that are just little abstract kind of pieces. I like this stuff, of course. This is nice. Yeah. There are moments when either the art or the story or what have you is a little confusing. This is actually really nice. I do like this page. This is a nice one. But there are some moments, I think later on, where it's a little hard at times to understand what's happening as far as some of the action and things like that. So could it be clearer? Yeah, it could be clearer. It does feel at times a little opaque as to what's going on. I think we get the idea, of course, but and that could be the writing, that could be a little bit of both. So that is something to think about. This is kind of a main character, Birdie. This is the kind of war bot. There's these different robots doctor robots, worker robots, guard robots. He's a war robot. This is a nice page. Here's nuclear bomb. This is all really nice. I like that a lot too. Yeah, it's good. It's really good stuff. And can't have Ashley Wood without kind of a cute girl. So we've got the cute girl in the mix now. Beautiful blacks. This whole thing is great. I've never met Ashley Wood. I think he's right now is in Australia still. And so he doesn't come here to the States that often. But I would love to kind of sit down and chat with him. Again, breaking the rules, right? Panels, no gutter, which I guess isn't a rule nowadays. It would be a rule back in the day. But art going out, all kind of misaligned. Again, very given that kind of a quick, loose kind of flavor. But then these moments where this beautiful, like, painted piece, which is very cool, right? It's like the designs he does is just really fun. So now we go into this storyline where there's these like little small female community, we're calling them Amazons, are together, and then there's a problem with an infection there, along with a Minotaur. So I don't know why they got the Minotaur. That just seems kind of bizarre, but it's fun. But yeah, there's a couple elements like what is really happening. I can't really read some of the panels properly. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this. I highly recommend it. So that's my take. And then there's some fun paintings here, which actually I think some of these have been painted in another book that I have. So there you go. That's my jam. I'm a big freaking fan of this work. It's a nice painting. I mean, this stuff reminds me, doesn't this kind of like Andrew Wyeth? It's got like kind of Andrew Wyeth kind of flavor for me, which I love, which I would love to kind of like emulate in some way. So if I could do that, that would be freaking cool. But anyway, that's my bit on this great book. Highly, highly recommend. 5 Biscuits. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.